And we see a couple fishes.
Bottom? That's bottom.
Just swimming right in front of us.
No,
And we can start to see the bottom there.
This actually is the base.
So as the bottom comes in sight, this is a standard operating procedure that pilots will typically hover above the bottom for a few minutes.
Yep.
Make sure that all the equipment is working properly, and so we'll be hovering here for just a while until we do our final descent.
Try switching the sonar, see if that helps.
And then start our survey.
Bridge nav.
Settled or stopped.
Nav this bridge?
Yeah, we're on the bottom at about 1,500 meters. Plan to get settled out here until we're comfortable, and then expect to be giving you a series of moves very slowly to the west.
Copy.
And already you can see that there's
still heading down. I was just waiting for
a
some more tether from
remarkably
you.
spectacular topography. This is very, very steep. So, yeah, this wall
I finally got up.
is at least 400 meters in height. That includes the pinnacle just to our north that we'll be imaging a little bit later in the dive, but absolutely beautiful topography. We see some sediment-covered faces here. So we're just on the bottom here. It's the current depth is 1,514 meters.
Should need many ship moves for the next hour. Guess a couple of
Very small ones.
And I'm holding depth here.
Okay. Delta's 20. I'll slow to a stop. I've got an altitude of 40, and I'm off the cliff about 30 meters.
I'm gonna so there's a view left and out there.
Would you like your lower swing arms out a bit?
A view out right. Maybe just a little bit.
Just to get around the craft.
Very interesting geological feature in sight right now. You can see that there appears to be this vertical tabular piece of rock that slices right on through the lava flows. This is actually called a dike. So what a dike is a intrusion of magma that has never broken the surface to become a lava flow, or at least the part that we're looking at. So the magma was injected into the rocks in the subsurface, where it then stayed and cooled very slowly, forming a dense rock. So a lot of the lava and lava flows around Hawaii actually have bubbles that you may have seen inside of them. This is called vesicularity. Dikes, because they're cooling under pressure, never exsolve their gases, and they take on more of a dense, non-vesicular
hydraulics up
interior themselves. It was a very spectacular image to see right away. So if that's any indication of the amazing geology we're about to see, I think everybody's going to be in luck.
Item low for the swing arms.
I just need to bring the shoulder up.
There you go.
Okay. Index out.
So yeah, for those folks who couldn't see the overhead Sirius image, that gives you a nice appreciation for the steepness of the terrain. So we see a little bit of substrate, a little bit of sediment there on the substrate. No animals so far, and there's also a little bit of discussion in the chat room already about where we're going to start seeing the animals, and that's probably closer to the top of the wall, and then of course on the pinnacle itself, particularly on the flanks of the pinnacle and close to the summit of the pinnacle.
All right, how do you feel, Carl?
Feel good. camera's 60, so you could probably come up and forward a little.
Yep. Gonna push into the wall.
Before you move me closer. Your swing arms are both out.
Yep.
Touch. I think that's pretty good. I'll leave the upper ones in.
Probably best for now.
Yeah, there's definitely an overhang there. Can you just turn square to me so I can see how the swing arms look?
Turning.
So it appears that there is no real current here in the area.
Your aft motor faulted.
And we'll see how that changes as we make ourselves to the top of this feature.
Alright, those might be out a little far, huh?
They're okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't have to do too many side
Okay.
touches.
Alright, so you
All right,
got the
watch lead. I think we're settling out here.
Yeah,
Lead the way.
roger that. Maybe if we can just take a quick look at that animal that's right in the center of the screen.
You
Got a-
got it. There they are. Can you bump the drawers out? I'm not sure if they've crept in or not.
Oh yeah. Let me get you in camera. Now, did you get the on bottom and bottom target and
Yeah.
bottom and log and all that?
Well, I hit the bottom button. I recorded when we hit the bottom.
And then we
Depth.
drop a
I
target
didn't
too.
drop a target.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like either a bubblegum coral or a corallium. We'll get a zoom here in a second, and then there's
That's,
another one in front of it.
Should be
So
ROV
yeah, maybe we can
or
image
on
both
bottom.
of these here. So there's
Trying to get a feel for this first one.
Swing arms pretty close.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching. I was just thinking we may want to
Just bring them.
counter what we just did.
I could. I have to turn it on to bump.
All right, go ahead, video. Start on this one, and then we'll track to the next one.
I'll just bring those back in if you.
So that looks like it's yeah, probably a stock crinoid or something that's dead and now overgrown by a series of hydroids. I also see some
Watch out for
barnacles and some
Arms sticking out over there too.
ophiuroids or brittle stars, and there's going to be ophiucantid brittle stars that have those fine hairs coming off the
Oh, the droid's
arms.
way up.
It was cracked an inch for launch.
That's right. Okay, and let's see if we can find that other one in the background. There it is. Go ahead.
And so this is a we'll take in the center. You see what commonly known as a basket star. It's going to be in the Ascura schemata, and the coral you're looking at is bubblegum coral, and the genus Paragorgia. We have at least a couple species here in Hawaii. These
Sorry,
are
video.
very beautiful
Bring it back.
animals, and the common name of bubblegum coral is actually when
There we go.
when the tentacles of the polyps
That's what I was
retract,
looking
you
for.
can see these bumps in a kind of different shapes and sizes that look like bubblegum.
Sorry. Got my toe back, I promise. No, I promise. Co-pilot, you want to help me out here on my camera?
Sure.
My toe keeps slipping.
Up a little.
Yeah. All right. Now I promise video. Let's try this again.
Brought your swing arm.
So yeah, another interesting thing about these bubblegum corals, there's several species around the world, and including some off New Zealand that get massive in height. Actually, some of
wanna
these
tilt up a little bit,
bubblegum
Co-pilot?
corals have been seen that
Yeah,
being
there we
over
go.
5 meters in size.
Perfect.
They're remarkable
it to
corals. and they provide habitat for these basket stars, Sciroscomatidae, as well
You
as
happy
many
with
other.
that watch lane?
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, hydraulics off.
So, pilot, as we zoom out, I was mentioning that there was what looked like to be a dike. I think it was over there to our right.
We'll head that way.
Yeah, if we could try and find that again, that would be a great image as well.
See it on the Argus video.
Is there also a coral straight ahead on the top of the feature right now? Just a quick snap zoom, maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead, video. Let's just do a quick snap from here.
And that's going to be a chrysogorgid coral. And that's with a commensal squat lobster.
You gonna want a closer look at that watch lane?
No, that's good. Thank you. So that's looks like Chrysogorgia geniculata. And
We're full line.
with a commensal squat lobster, and those are in the final family Chirostalidae.
All right, there's that beautiful dike. So you can see what I was mentioning earlier. What's happening here is a simple geological concept called cross-cutting relationships, where we have horizontal or subhorizontal layering of lava flows that flow downhill, obviously. Cross-cutting this vertically or subvertically is a dike, and you can almost see the obvious differences in textures where the dike, the vertical feature, appears to be more dense in its composition than the surrounding lava flows. That's because the surrounding lava flows were able to exsolve their gases at a lesser pressure than the dike, and the pressure comes from the containing pressures, while the dike intrudes its way through the subsurface, and the surrounding rocks that it's intruding into provide bounding pressure, and the bounding pressure keeps the dissolved gases within the liquid state, and it generates this more dense rock with less bubbles in it. It's a very nice image. Typically, these dikes are expected to be in higher densities along things like rift zones, rift zone ridges, features that we were actually diving on in our previous dive to the south.
Nice view from Sirius of it.
Oh, it's a beautiful view from Sirius. You can actually see the scale of this dike. These things
Crawl back up.
are tens and hundreds of meters tall, but as we can kind of tell, maybe we can get the lasers on for scale, just to get a scale on the width of this tabular feature. But as I was saying, these dikes typically intrude their ways into rift zone ridges, where rift zones are the locus of volcanic eruptions in Hawaiian volcanoes. We're not actually diving on a rift zone ridge. We're diving into this.
I actually want to get up quite a ways, get even with you, Carl.
We're diving in this excavated, possibly landslide scarp, and this is.
Yeah, maybe we could take a quick look at that fish. There's a little interest here.
I'm assuming the bigger one.
Yep.
Okay, video. Let's go ahead.
Sure thing.
Hold there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is a fish called a slickhead. It's a fish called a slickhead, family Alepocephalidae. They're quite abundant along continental slope areas, but they're not that common here in the Hawaiian Islands. So this is a fascinating video, and it's excellent video, really good. It's possible to get the lasers on for a site scale. Some of the experts have asked us for that.
Roger, yeah, if we can get
Let's
the
get it
lasers.
back on, Carl. I know we had them already, but
We did get an image with them.
let's get it quick. He's going out of my range. There we go. Yeah.
So
And
those lasers are 10 centimeters or about
and that's
4
as far as
inches.
I can go.
And
So looking at
My leash has run out.
looking at my sonar, the cliff seemed
Nice follow
the
by.
closest
And,
approach.
yeah,
was about,
it did have parasites on it. So that was Bruce
very
Mundy
close to my port, so
from
maybe
NOAA's
sidle that
Pacific
little
Island
line
Fisheries Science Center,
Yeah, I'm coming back to port.
our
I
expert
wandered off. And
deep
I wanna
sea
be
fish
back.
taxonomist. Thank you very much, Bruce.
Gosh, I'm hard over on the laterals. That's all I'm moving. Doesn't look like very much on this
And,
screen.
One
so-
interesting thing about
There's
the
south to north.
not a lot though. but it's definitely heading north.
One interesting thing about those slickheads from the Hawaiian Islands is they're actually known from very few
All right.
specimens
You
that
happy
have
with
been
your heading?
collected. Oh, looks like another fish too.
I'm
by the
driving
way,
to
in
your
the
center
center
screen, so
of
let
the
me know.
screen.
Yeah,
But anyway,
I saw
one of the
maybe
early
I'll go
ones
to,
that
like,
was collected
265.
here was
I saw it looks
from
pretty
a
lined up.
a trap
Okay.
that was set down.
like
One
that.
of the people using that was a person named Otis Barton, who, as it happens, was one of the was the engineer or one of the people who worked with William Beebe on
All
his
right, I'll
early
put
bathysphere
minis up.
dive.
See
So
what's
there's a
happening
bit
in
of
front of
deep sea
me.
exploration
Let's
history
push forward.
related to the knowledge of these slickhead fishes here in the Hawaiian Islands.
Thank you very much, Bruce.
Is that a shrimp? Yes, it is. Okay, moving on.
Motors are down to 5,400.
Yeah, I think when I work them a lot, that happens.
Do you know what that is? Just a unknown.
Is there an animal there to the lower part of the? Oh, actually,
There's one lower, one to the right, and a sponge. to
Yeah,
the
the one that's kind of dead center, a little off dead center. Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Oh, that looks like another bubblegum coral. Yeah.
Let's go partial.
Zooming partial.
Yeah, that's the same thing we had before. That's good. Thank you.
Okay.
And maybe we can take a quick look at the sponge to our left.
Sponge to the left. You got it. What do you think, Carl? You ready for a move?
Yeah, so I'm 30 meters from the wall. We definitely have a little distance to that. We definitely don't want to get steers closer than 12-meter.
No, but
But yeah, I think I could move.
I'm at the edge of my tether.
I think I should move 10 over. That might do us for 2 or 3 hours.
Ship move 10, bearing 270,
Maybe my heading like 265.
65.
So I know Chris is going to be watching attentively here.
About to. Yeah, bridge nav, we'd like to move bearing 265, 10 meters, please, 0.2 knots.
I copy 10 meters, bearing 265 at 0.2 knots.
All right, go ahead, video.
Perfect, thank you.
Copy.
You're definitely pulling me.
Hi, Daniel. This is Chris.
Hey, Chris. What are we looking at?
I'm pretty sure you're looking at a sponge in the subfamily Corbitellinae. And this is a vase, and one of the ways you can tell it apart from some of the other vase sponges is it tends to have these sort of protrusions coming out of the surface of the vase. This is going to be a soft sponge. It doesn't have a hard skeleton. Basically, its harder parts, the spicules, are not fused together. They're kind of loose in the tissue, so it has that sort of spongy feel to it.
So,
But yeah, this is a really beautiful example of one of these Corbitellinae. And right now, this group of sponges are only being called Corbitellinae new genus. It hasn't been worked out exactly where they fit in that subfamily.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you very much.
Sorry, lining you up.
That was Dr. Christopher Kelly from the University of Hawaii. Is also providing scientific guidance for the larger effort here that the Okeanos Explorer is doing over the next 3 years in the region.
Pulled too much.
It's my fault.
One of the few folks in this area that actually knows the taxonomy of many, many groups, but has lately started working on sponges. which are a particularly problematic group. There's at least or over 10,000 species of sponges, and very few folks in the world actually specializing on the taxonomy of this group. So as Chris was alluding, a lot of the species are only known to family, subfamily.
I collected a lot of dirt that time.
This particular specimen being most likely a new genus. So a lot of work to be done on this group. So thank you very much, Chris.
Shake that loose. All right.
So the depth
Push it
is 1,503 meters. And that looks like it probably another either dead stock of a crinoid or possibly a coral. We'll just take maybe a quick snap zoom on that long stalk at the top of the screen.
Yeah, we have some time. We're waiting for Sirius here, watch lead, so we'll get you zoomed in.
Sounds great, thank you. So yeah, we'll take a look at these two animals. The one on the
Video. Let's start right here, actually. This.
Great.
If I can bring you right.
So we have a small anemone there. Oh, and then there's a very interesting looking sea star to its right. So in this anemone you can see the large kind of tips of the polyps of the tentacles, and so that's something that we've been referring to as exosolactus. And yeah, that's a very interesting sea star, and maybe Christopher Ma from the Smithsonian Institution is tuning in and watching.
Okay, and then we'll go up for that stock.
So it's a bamboo coral, an unbranched bamboo coral.
Find the edge. There it is.
And then there's also a sponge in the background. And we'll take a look after we're done.
Let's come wide then, video. Where's the sponge?
I believe the bottom right.
Background. Off to the right there, okay?
Yeah. And it looks similar to what we imaged a little bit later, earlier, but yeah, we'll take a look. There's actually 3 animals there in the center of the screen.
Go ahead, video. Bring you down.
Establishing.
So, Chris, is this one in the family Uncentenary Day?
Daniel, I have never seen a sponge that looks like this before. I think it's a hard sponge. That's about it right now.
Yeah, no, and I was going through the gallery here too, and there's nothing similar. So there's the one that's there in the center of the screen, the smaller one. We definitely know that one, but so I'll put it out here for discussion. But it looks like this might be something new and worth collecting.
You know what my vote would be.
Did I hear you say that was full zoom video?
Yep, that's right.
Okay, let's come wide.
So yeah, maybe we can take just with the lasers so yeah,
I'll get closer to it for you, watch lead, and we'll have to anyway if we're going to sample it. So.
Excellent, thank you. So yeah, I agree with you, Chris. This is very different than anything we've imaged in this area or in Hawaii.
There are your lasers.
Excellent, yeah. So it looks about a half a meter or so in height. And
get in.
Chris Kelly just pointed out that nothing like this has been seen both in Hawaii as well as in Johnson Atoll, where the Okeanos explorers spent some time last year,
What was that, Copat?
as well as previous work done in the region by the Hawaii Underwater Research Laboratory. So I think this is distinctive enough that we should go ahead and collect it. If we're set up to do so, pilot.
Yeah, I think we can do that for you.
Thank you.
Do we want to closer?
Yeah, let's go in while I'm stable here. See if I can bring this right just a hair without losing everything else.
But Chris, this is a demo sponge, right?
I'm not sure I'm going to be able to come right anymore for you.
No, I think it's a hexactinellid. I think it's a glass sponge.
Oh,
How about
yeah, it looks so smooth.
Looks pretty stretched out.
Maybe
Oh yeah, there you
5
can see
meters.
the lattice.
Okay.
Pretty close.
So go ahead and call for that, you think? Or?
No, I think we should
And,
wait till
uh,
the samples.
Yeah, my heading's not. I'm
Yeah.
too firmly set down to come right for you video. So sorry.
Do we, do
Andrea
it up just
Quattrini just made an interesting
can't hear you.
observation, saying that
Can we
in
tilt the
her
camera
previous
up
work in
just
the
a bit?
Caribbean,
Oh,
she might have seen something
Thank you. Perfect.
similar. But that's very far away from here.
It's blowing back to the middle.
But that's one interesting kind of observation that we're starting to make as we explore more of these deep
So I
water
can also hold
environments
it up in front of the camera once we sample it. So that's
here in these
get hydraulics
places
up.
is that
which you already have.
you don't have the same faunal breaks
Yeah, so you're
between
so
ocean
stable again.
basins
Can you
that
do
you
some
have
weight
with the shallow water species. So in shallow water, you have very distinctive faunas between the ocean basins, but as you get deeper and deeper, they start looking more alike.
Let's come wide on
Even when you're
main HD, please.
and there's likely a long-legged shrimp in the background,
Watch lead about halfway up, I imagine.
and Nematocorcinus.
Maybe we got some dusting.
Is that me?
Video, could you balance out the Nisus?
Where'd that come from?
Sure thing. Stand by, pilot.
Got
Oh, my
horizontal
auto
side.
heading turned
Yeah.
big time. Okay, bring it back.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's not happy. It's okay though.
Go. That should.
So it's looking pretty flexible. I don't know what that means, whether the stem is flexible but the leaves
Alright,
are
hydraulics
brittle,
coming on.
or whether it's actually a flexible sponge. But it's kind of interesting just watching it move around.
Yeah, I agree. And there's also a unstocked crinoid at the base of that sponge.
Yeah, you can tilt down.
It's a very common association that you see these.
Watch lead about halfway up. Will that work for you?
Yep.
It might be kind of big.
Yeah, quite flexible. So, how's that look to you, Copilot? Can we brighten up Mini Zeus a little bit?
Sure thing, stand by.
How's that look, Copilot? Look reasonable selection.
Yeah, I think that'll fit nicely.
Watch lead, will that work for you?
That looks.
If we cut there?
That's perfect.
Okay. Cutting. Grip force 5, okay.
Okay, so that looks like it's soft, like it's not a hard sponge, which makes it even more mysterious in my head.
Video, let's go in. Let's just get some quick shots. I have it right in front.
Excellent.
Rotate it for you a little bit. Bring it down.
Well, at least now you'll have a specimen to solve the mystery, Chris.
So hard to focus.
Yeah, maybe just capture that. Perfect. All right. We're
Yeah,
not
at
gonna be able
the
to put
very
the drawer
least,
out,
this is
so-
going to be a new record of something. It's just, I doubt if it's ever been seen in Hawaii before by anybody. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, let's just put it in the port box for now.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. As we were approaching it, I was frantically going through the OER
Coming out of
animal
Joylock?
guide and the Hurl animal
Ahead.
guide, and I couldn't find it or anything similar.
All right, and I have good lock, so we're gonna go back into auto depth, auto XY. Hold here. Okay, Copilot, drawer.
All right.
When you're
Opening.
comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable. I'm gonna bring Mini Zeus down too.
So we're currently at a depth of 1,503 meters. We just collected a very unusual sponge,
A bit
something
longer, so I'm gonna.
that looks
go for
very
a-
different than anything that has been imaged from
rotate
this
around so
entire
square.
region.
Just give me a second.
So both from the Hawaiian Islands and Johnson Atoll. And we just proceeded in collecting these specimens. So these are, of course, very invaluable specimens.
If you lift up.
In a lot of
I
these
just-
cases, we
just-
need the
Where is
specimens
it?
to
It's
get
going inside the camera.
a
Inside the vehicle.
positive identification
just
even
happened.
to the
Whatever it was.
courses group, so and even to family or higher level.
If you just move the arm, or actually you can leave it there. If you just back up a little, you might see where it lands.
Is it in the vehicle?
Yeah.
Can you bring the Mini Zeus or this guy around?
Yeah. I got Mini Zeus. I saw it drift just to the left of the. This. I think it kept going.
Any visual?
No, maybe if you back up, it'll get washed out. Just
Okay.
back up slowly. Alright. So watching it looked like the sponge was so soft that it just kind of fell apart. and drifted back into the vehicle.
Roger that.
Take a look for it.
If not, we'll go back and get the remaining section.
Roger that. Yeah, so the material was so soft that it actually came off the manipulator arm. So we're going to just take a look if it had drifted into the vehicle.
Anyone see it? Okay, guess we're going back for the other piece. Let's get the drawer in.
Yep. Your arm's clear, right?
Yep. Sorry about that, Watchley. We'll get a second piece for you.
Yeah, no worries.
That's
Thank you.
disappointing.
Your drawer's closed.
Yeah, there's a fish on the upper left.
Yeah, roger that, Bruce. So we're going to just finalize this collection event, and then hopefully the fish won't move away, and we'll get you an image.
Just kind of fell out of there.
Well, the arm jerked. I'm not quite sure why, and it just ripped out.
You want to bring the... Guess it's okay. Just watch the craft on the port upper boulder.
I want to switch after this, Carl. Not having a good pilot day.
Having the best pilot day.
All right.
Are you just in auto, or are you you're still moving?
There we go. I have auto head on. Okay. Let's go for this again.
Okay. Ready for me to follow you with Mini?
Yep.
Video to zoom on Mini?
Didn't copy that.
Oh, video, could you just zoom in partial on Mini?
Yeah, I just saw your note there, Andrea. Yeah, we'll definitely try to get that for you. So once we're done with this collection event, hopefully that rat tail is still in the area, and we'll try to image it as well as any ectoparasites that we see on it.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. I'll put main HD is full wide.
I'm not close enough. Looks like it's just out of reach.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a few feet farther back and it's shorter now.
Gosh. trying again.
Okay, I followed you down on Mini.
Yeah, can you come down a mini?
Yeah. You might have to kind of tilt your wrist in towards you.
All right, let's just, how much do you need? I just need to come back, okay.
Video, could you go wide on Mini Zeus?
Yep.
Very good.
Is that good enough for you, Carl?
Yep, it's good. So if it falls again, you could just drive the vehicle upward to try to force it into the
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
That'll help.
Okay, let's get boxes.
Okay.
Let's get this in.
Sort of open. Mini Zeus.
All right, nice and easy.
Okay, I'll bring Mini Zeus perpendicular. There we go.
I do not like these rolls today.
Do you have your foot brace?
It's not really helping.
What?
How's that look to you?
Looks good. I might, as you release the jaws, I might step up on that auto depth or auto. If you just bump up your
All right,
joystick.
here we go. Clear. Is it in there?
Yep.
I don't see it.
It's off to the side and sink in.
Okay. Let's get that closed then. Watch lead. I'm sorry about how long that took and that we lost the first chunk, but we got that second chunk for you.
Roger that. Yeah, thank you.
I apologize for that.
No worries.
Lengthy sample.
Thank you very much. No, yeah, it was very, very soft. But I think that's going to be an invaluable specimen. Yeah, so thank you very much. So yeah, we current depth is 1,504 meters, and we just collected this very unusual sponge. We're gonna put away our sampling equipment and manipular arm, and then proceed with our transect. If the fish is still in the area, we'll try to image that, but we'll take a look at what's just above in that flat area right above us.
Do you want to
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
give it a go?
Yeah, the fish was up above the screen. It may be long gone by now, though. It was cruising along kind of
It's
slowly.
frustrating.
That was nicely done.
So, I don't know if the wave, and I shifted my weight, like my perch for the box, but it kind of just shuddered for the first one, and that's why it kind of broke loose. All right, let's continue on.
Okay. Do you want to go as, I think total today we're only going to move maybe 10 more meters. Do you want to do 5 of those now or just wait till you're out farther?
Yeah, it looks like, unfortunately, that rat tail, or what looked like a rat tail.
Here's one coming in.
Oh, there it is.
And a jellyfish over to the right.
Beautiful.
Which would you like?
Let's take the fish.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like it could be a halosaur, one of the spiny eels, just from the way it's got its body curved and how long and thin it is.
265.
Let's let them just float in. Video, I'm gonna just touch down back here if I can.
And if we
gently.
can we zoom in on the head? The scale pattern on the head can be important for getting the genus on
let's
these
start going
things.
partial.
In last
Is it
year's
5
cruise,
meters?
we found
Yes,
a genus
just
of
5.
halosaur that's never been
Let's go.
reported from the Hawaiian Islands before.
Go full.
Scales extend all the way almost to the snout.
Let's get it
on
as
that
it floats
genus.
in. Pulls in, please.
Roger that. So yeah, it does look
Bridge
like
is
it does
half.
have scales on the head there.
Yeah, we'd like to do a small move, please, bearing
Well,
265.
not out on the snout,
5
and
meters,
the scales
please.
on the lateral side of the body on the ventral part are very large. So this is an Aldrovandia, a genus that's well known from the
Perfect.
Hawaiian
Watch out,
Islands.
rotate.
But it's great video, really good video.
And now, Bruce, would this go in the species Aldrovandia
All right,
phylacra?
now we can come wide now that we've gotten this. Get it establishing. Thank you, Video.
I'm not good with these.
I
so
wasn't
I
sure
can't
how
quite
long he'd
tell,
cooperate, so I wanted the
it
quick
could be
zoom
phylacra,
while he was
but,
floating
I'll have to
nicely
look
by.
at this in detail later on back in the lab and talk with Ken Sulak, who's one of the experts
Coming
on
off
this
bottom,
group.
and I'm just going to float with him.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Bruce.
You know, there are 2 species of Aldrovandia reported from the Hawaiian Islands, Aldrovandia phylacra and Aldrovandia affinis. I need to learn a little bit more about them. The number of scales between the
Too much
back
on
of
the
the
reticle,
head
sorry.
and the front part of the anal fin, that long fin
Come
on the
back.
bottom, is an important identifying character, and we'll certainly be able to count those from the video that we just got.
All right, Video, when you're happy,
Excellent. Thank you.
come wide.
Alright, it's a nice view of the bottom.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
That's really good.
Beautiful imagery.
Come around to the other side.
Yeah, so this.
That shows that character that I was just talking about perfectly. That's great.
Alright. It's not a view they usually get.
Okay.
Great.
Full wide, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that's part of the group that's a family of the sea lizards, or Halosauridae.
Did we lose the... I think we did.
Yeah. And
The move's complete.
Okay, that's a sponge coming off. Okay. Continuing back to center for you, Carl.
Okay. Yeah, I'm showing the wall about, I don't know, 22 meters away. So
yeah, maybe
just
we can
5,
cover
so
some
should be about
ground
a
here.
17, should be pretty ideal.
There's my toe print.
So yeah, as we got that absolutely beautiful imagery of that sea lizard, or Halosauridae, in the genus Aldrovandia. Thank you, Bruce, for that ID. we did image fishes in that genus.
Near.
This looks new.
Yeah, let's go ahead, take a look.
Now, the other genus that we saw last year was Halosaurus, the genus that has the same base of its name as the family, and that's the one that's got scales going up on the snout. So that was a new find of a genus. Again, about almost a quarter of the fish genera that we saw last year were new records for the Central North Pacific. So there's a lot to be discovered.
Excellent, thank you, Bruce.
Didn't copy that pilot.
Go ahead.
Copy.
So that's this is a primnoid coral, and actually in that little section that you're looking at, that's a parasite, a zoanthid, and family Parazoanthidae. So that's a common association, is these zoanthids actually settle on dead corals or portions of dead corals and overgrow them.
Is it wavy? Are you seeing that video?
Too, yes.
Let me see if I can stabilize my shot.
And we also see a crinoid to the left, an unstalked crinoid, a comatulate crinoid.
We're fine. Coming back.
And so, yeah, last year we imaged a zoanthid that was very similar, that was identified in the family Parazoanthidae. This white
It's
polyps.
like the water's shimmering every once in a
Yes,
while.
little bit. I wonder.
Thermocline, maybe?
Maybe. Wouldn't mind taking a look at the ground before we leave.
Watch lead, are you happy with this?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah,
And
quick establish.
we can go ahead and cover a little ground if we can.
Yeah, we'll try to do the best we can with such a steep slope. We have to move the ship only a few meters at a time.
Absolutely, roger that. Thank you. Yeah, I think there's going to be a large interest to get to the top of the feature and then
Roger
move.
that. Moving on.
So I think before we move again, we should stretch out even further, because I think there must be an overhang. You're farther away from me than
So yeah, that was a nice little aggregation of animals. So that's highlighting the importance of corals as habitat-forming species.
not seeing anything.
So a lot of times these coral provide habitat and shelter for other
think you're gonna have to
animals
give
that
me
live
5
on
meters.
it. So
there's
on that
something.
coral we had a crinoid, also a ophiuroid,
I mean, if you
or
come up,
brittle star. So a lot of actually, so yeah, if we can take a quick look at those brown
Sea
objects.
pens.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah. And then probably there's going to be an interest also in the fish, but if it stays in the area.
Sort of a vertical jump. Just come up to find that rather than staying in contact with the wall.
Go ahead, video. Centering.
It's in danger at the rate we're going. We're never going to make the top.
Yeah.
We haven't left the bottom.
agreed.
So yeah, that's
I think we'll be making
definitely
progress pretty soon.
a sea
Don't you
pen.
worry.
Really quick, yeah. Well, let's do
Yeah, and Tina just provided a tentative ID here.
Let's come on.
5 more
I
265.
think that's probably good.
And the genus Calibelemnum, and so the species that we've recorded here from Hawaii is the Calibelemnum symmetricum. But the base of those are very different. Those are fine on hard substrate.
Pilot, as we approach this ledge up here, just in the top right of a corner of the screen, there looks like there might be another dike outcrop, but definitely a change in rock type there. Do you see what I'm talking about? A little bit darker?
Heading over that way.
Great, thank you.
Seen it at the bottom, but I'm not sure.
Talking.
And as we approach it, can we maybe get the lasers on for scale? This is a,
So just wanted to, for our shore-based scientists and viewers, there is a mic open, so if you can mute it when you're not talking, because we're hearing the echoing back on the line.
so this is a great comparison to the thinner dike that we saw before. This one's quite massive. It's probably about, I don't know, half a meter to
I need to come back left.
a meter across approximately, but you can see that these dikes actually vary in their size and shape. I didn't get to finish what I was talking about earlier, but the dikes are typically
Do another identical move.
they're typically more dense along the rift zone ridges, and dense not as in its actual rock density, as in its frequency number along the ridge. Rift zone ridges are typically where you find many of those. However, we're not diving on a rift zone ridge, but I'd like to point out that Pioneers got more than just one rift zone. We dove on the southern ridge, which was a rift zone ridge previously, and located just a little bit to our northeast is a north trending ridge, which is another rift zone, and directly east of us is a third rift zone that belonged to Pioneer Volcano. So the fact that we're facing west and the dike seem to be trending to east and west directions, assuming that this dike actually was injected along the eastern rift zone of Pioneer.
So yeah, we just imaged a rat tail or macurrid. Likely one of these fishes in a genus that we've seen quite a bit out here. Bruce provided a tentative ID for Kumba. Last year we imaged quite a few of those, and at that point we only had a guess of 2 different genera, and Bruce has been working over time and hard in trying to nail down these, and so now we have it, I think, to the genus Kumba. So yeah, we do see a lot of fish in this area. Just wanted to ask our shore-based scientists, if you're not talking, to mute the phone, because we do hear the echo coming back on the line.
That's still me tugging you?
Yeah. After I do this move, we could just try coming up.
Video, let's snap here real quick. Let that fish get pulling. It might just be raw. Okay. Yeah, we can come wide. It was shinier from above. So watch lead, we're moving closer to the cliff, but we gotta move slowly.
Roger that, yeah, thank you.
I'm pretty sure there's a overhang.
And our pilot just informed us that we are trying to move over this feature, but given the steepness of the terrain, we are doing
You want me to start coming up, Carl?
slow moves. But yeah, absolutely spectacular, the topography of this feature. A couple of unbranched, an unbranched bamboo coral there to our left, and sponge